Hello, and this is Coach Kemi, founder and CEO of How to Think Global Consulting Empire. And in this short mini video training series, I want to share with you the three fundamentals, what I call the three fundamentals for or of epic thinking. I believe there are three fundamentals. If you want to think epic, if you want to know how to think, there are three fundamentals. So let's get into the number one fundamental, and that is take responsibility. Did that make you think like, oh, in order for me to think, I need to take responsibility? Yes, if you want to know how to think, you need to be ready to take responsibility. So what I call it is do a TR on yourself. That means take responsibility for you. No one else is supposed to take responsibility for you. You take responsibility for you. What does that look like? What does that look like? Taking responsibility for you. We'll get into that as we go further. But first, let's look at the dictionary meaning of the word responsibility. Now, DICO means dictionary, all right? Something that is your job or duty to deal with. Responsibility is something that is your job or duty to deal with. If you want to know how to think, you need to be ready to take responsibility. The art of how to think requires you to be one ready to take responsibility, one who is not willing to pass the buck. That means you will do your job on you or your duty. It is your job or your duty to deal with you. It's not mine, it's not somebody else's, it's your responsibility. So the passing of the buck days are over. Passing of the buck, saying is the country's fault, is the fault of the weather, you do not know how come you ended up this way, your parents didn't do the right thing, your ex-husband or ex-wife caused it, it's because you had 3 grandchildren early. Absolutely no excuses. Taking responsibility means the death of excuses. So to take responsibility or responsibility itself means something that is your job or duty to deal with. You are your job, you are your duty. You cannot pass your personal development, your development in any way, onto someone else. That's not possible. As an adult, you can't. Even as a kid, 4 years old, 5 years old, I have a 4-year-old grandson. There are certain things he is responsible for, and he cannot point fingers. He is responsible. We've taught him to be responsible. He needs to take responsibility. And I think about it. Is it every time you're in a hard place that you want to take responsibility? Is it not true that you would rather pass the buck? Well, I term that as stinking thinking. Because irrespective of what happens to you, what is done to you that is unfair, that you do not like, that causes you to end up in a place you shouldn't end up, you still need to take responsibility for how you respond to it. Not react, respond. And all of what I've just said requires you to think. So the art of how to think, a fundamental to knowing that art, is a preparedness to take responsibility. Once there's that preparedness in you, you are with that willingness. Okay, I surrender, hands up. You're right. That happened to me, but how I responded to it is my responsibility. Then you are getting on the first rung of the ladder to know how to think. Now, Like I said, it is no other person's fault that you are who you are today and you are where you are today. Listen, it does not matter if you missed an opportunity, and if you had got the opportunity, you would have been somewhere else today. It does not make any difference whatsoever. What makes the difference is how you respond to it. And your response is determined by how you think. And once you grasp the art of how to think, you would realize that taking responsibility is a huge part of learning that art. Now, if in your life you have ever pointed the finger and it's his fault, my car will not be smashed if that drunk driver did not ram into me. That's true. But what are you going to do about it? If you're busy pointing fingers, you cannot be busy pointing the finger at you at the same time. You will not be busy thinking of how to either buy a new car, claim insurance, fix it, walk away, whatever. You will be so busy pointing fingers at the guy or the person that you will be busy, you'll be setting yourself up to argue, to fight, to go to court. Forgive me, that's my granddaughter, but I hope you heard me. Go for it. Go for taking responsibility. Until you are willing to take responsibility, you're willing to accept that that is what you need to do for you, the art of how to think will continue to evade you. It will. So remember, it's no other person's fault that you are where you are today. That is of your doing. And you are where you are today. That is of your doing. It is of my doing who I am today and where I am today. I was brought up by my parents, yes. I'm separated from my husband, divorced now, yes. I have 2 adult children. I have 2 grandchildren, yes. I'm responsible. I am responsible. My business has not gone to plan over the years, yes. I am responsible. And in taking responsibility, I am able to look back and say, so what went wrong? What do I need to change? That's how to think to win. Okay? Taking responsibility leads you to fixing things the way they need to be fixed, the way they ought to be fixed, and enables you to do it quickly. Because passing the buck takes time. Because the person you pass the buck to, I don't accept, I might argue with you. You see? So did you see where you are going when you shirk your responsibility and point fingers and pass the buck? You waste time doing things that you have no business doing and having conversations you have no business having. So that's what I say. Take responsibility. Let's go on. The main reason, now you need to listen to this. The main reason many experience failure, and especially mental ill health, and some of you might disagree, but I want you to hear me out. The main reason, what do you think it is? Many experience failure and mental ill health is a refusal to take responsibility. So I've had a few friends in my lifetime who have been put in the funny house because they have so-called lost their mind. Their mentality, they've given it to the dogs, or it's gone to the dogs, and they are not behaving like a normal human being anymore. I remember one of my friends, her husband left her for someone else. Like, she tried to get him back, work at it. He said, no, he's not doing it. Now, he didn't do right. But that's not her responsibility. Her responsibility is to pick herself up, build herself up, and make sure she is okay. Instead, she would do things like just undress and be naked right in front of me, wherever we were. Eventually, she was put in the funny house. Now, that's not a beautiful thing. And I went to visit with her, and she was on all kinds of medication because she refused to take responsibility for rebuilding her own life. She refused to do that. Instead, the finger was pointed, your fault, let's fix it. You don't want to fix it, but I must fix it by all means. Okay, all right, you don't want to fix it, oh, that's the end of me, that's the death of me. People lose their minds for less. And I don't really know where she's and how she's doing now, but that's what happened. I have another friend who, she's not in there, but that is her story as well. My husband left me, or we had issues, and I couldn't cope. We all choose whether we're going to cope or not. You are born, created, made to cope. You see, you are not a washout. No, you are not useless. You are born, created, made to cope and to cope well. Remember that. What did I say? The main reason many experience failure and mental ill health is a refusal to take responsibility. Take responsibility. When something is taken, it means it is in the possession of the taker. So when you take responsibility, it's nobody else's business. They say, how are you doing? Or they don't. They check you up or they don't. They call you or they don't. They abuse you or they don't. They ignore you or they don't. Irrelevant. You have taken it. You have taken you into your own possession. It's in your possession. It's yours. You need to deal with it. You need to fix it. Okay? You. No one else. You. Quit sitting on the sidelines waiting for someone to say, oh, how do you feel? Are you okay? Oh, we all need companionship. We need friends. It's good. It's necessary for our mental health to have friends and to have people in our lives that we can look to and we can be accountable to. But we don't end our livelihood. We don't end thinking right just because nobody's there. No, we get up, we dust ourselves off. If we need to cry or want to, go ahead, dry your eyes and look for another set of friends. That is taking responsibility. Okay? So take possession of yourself. Take possession of yourself. Put yourself in your possession. You are your possession. Take possession of yourself. Do not give you to others. Does not matter what they promise, how great they are, how lovely they are. They are not God. God is the only one that shows up on time. Your friend might say, I'm on my way, and there might be an accident that delays him or her. He or she might have fallen ill. Their spouse or their family member might need them, and their family member is priority compared to you. You know, you don't know. Men will fail you. Humans will fail you, but God won't. So there's no point hanging, waiting, oh, he did that. Take responsibility for you. You are not someone else's responsibility. You are your responsibility. Go away now and take responsibility for yourself in the areas of your life. At least start with one area and see how it goes. I hope this video serves you, because taking responsibility is a fundamental first step to understanding the art of how to think.